The digital landscape was supposed to be a place of convenience, of modern solutions. But on that fateful day, the tranquility was shattered. The emergency room, typically filled with the frantic energy of saving lives, suddenly froze. Dr. Bleekman stood in shock as the hospital's critical computer systems flickered, then went dark. What was once a state-of-the-art medical facility was now a battlefield against an unseen enemy, an enemy that had breached the hospital's digital defenses. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe for more true stories like this. Within moments, the screens turned to static, and the hospital's digital infrastructure crumbled. The systems that controlled everything from patient data to life-saving medical equipment were no longer functioning. Chaos erupted as doctors and nurses scrambled, trying to provide care without their usual tools. But the worst was yet to come. Can you imagine the terror of an entire hospital being taken down by a cyber attack? It's happening, and no one is safe. Subscribe now to see how one hacker, working from his bedroom, changed the course of this catastrophe, and how his own past came back to haunt him. This is the true story of Marcus Hutchins, the hero-turned-villain of the largest ransomware attack in history. As the virus spread across the globe, its reach was devastating. A few hours after the initial attack, the ripple effects were felt worldwide. In Spain, telecommunications were severed. In Germany, the national train system ground to a halt, leaving 5.5 million daily passengers stranded, their travels interrupted by the virus that had no regard for human lives. In the UK, hospitals were in a state of crisis. The message on the screen was simple: pay the ransom, or lose everything. The world watched as this cyber attack, dubbed WannaCry, ravaged over 200,000 computers across 150 countries. Its scale was beyond anything experts had predicted. And at the heart of the attack, the global healthcare system was under threat. Dr. Bleekman and his colleagues were left trying to manage critical cases with pen and paper, a far cry from the digital tools they relied on every day. The lives of countless patients hung in the balance. But then, just as the situation seemed hopeless, a hero emerged, though no one knew it yet. A mysterious figure, known only by the cat profile picture on his blog, was already at work. From his small, unassuming bedroom, Marcus Hutchins, a 22-year-old malware analyst, had noticed something in the code, a flaw, a potential kill switch that could stop the virus in its tracks. It was a chance discovery, one that would turn him into an accidental hero. With a few keystrokes, he activated the kill switch. Within hours, the WannaCry virus came to a screeching halt. The damage was immense, but it could have been far worse. The media hailed Marcus as a hero, though he remained anonymous, preferring to keep his identity hidden. But heroes rarely stay anonymous for long. Within 2 days, Marcus's identity was uncovered. His face appeared on the front pages of newspapers, his private life exposed to the world. The media, once supportive, now turned on him. The FBI had taken notice, too. What had started as a story of heroism quickly turned into a nightmare. The authorities were now determined to find out everything about him, and they didn't care that he had saved countless lives in the process. The investigations began. The FBI poured through his online posts, looking for any clue, any sign of wrongdoing. Marcus was terrified. His past, something he had long buried, was now threatening to surface. And it wasn't just the FBI who was interested. The media had latched onto him, and they weren't about to let go. Days later, Marcus's worst fears were realized. The FBI had uncovered his darkest secret, one that had been buried deep in the past. Years ago, Marcus had dabbled in the world of hacking. What started as innocent curiosity had led him down a dangerous path. A path that eventually connected him to a hacking group that had stolen sophisticated cyber weapons from the NSA. This was the moment that would change everything. The FBI had found proof that Marcus had not only worked with these hackers but had even helped create malicious software. The very same skills that had made him a hero were now being used against him. The media frenzy escalated. Reporters camped outside Marcus's house, trying to get a glimpse of the man who had single-handedly stopped a global cyber attack. His social media was flooded with messages from people thanking him for his bravery. But Marcus couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. The same skills that had saved lives were now being used as evidence against him. He tried to lay low, but it was impossible. The FBI had launched a full investigation, and the hacker community was watching closely. Everyone wanted to know, was Marcus Hutchins a hero or a criminal? And, more importantly, what was the FBI going to do with him? The investigation took an even darker turn. The FBI had uncovered links to a hacker group called the Shadow Brokers, who had stolen a powerful exploit known as Eternal Blue from the NSA. This exploit had been used in the WannaCry attack. It wasn't just a random coincidence, it was part of a larger, more dangerous web of cyber espionage. The Shadow Brokers had released the exploit to the public, and now Marcus was linked to their operation. As the FBI delved deeper into Marcus's past, they uncovered more damning evidence. The question was no longer whether he had stopped the attack, it was whether his past crimes were enough to convict him. As the investigation unfolded, the world's attention turned to the impact of Eternal Blue. The exploit had been a game-changer. It allowed hackers to remotely access and control vulnerable systems, infecting them with malicious code. The WannaCry virus had been just one of many attacks that had used this exploit. And Marcus had played a key role in stopping it. But the more the FBI uncovered, the more they began to question whether Marcus had known about the true nature of the exploit. Had he been complicit in its release? Or had he simply been a bystander, caught up in something far bigger than he realized? The media, ever eager for a story, painted Marcus as both a hero and a villain. They couldn't decide which he truly was. Some saw him as a modern-day Robin Hood, using his skills for good. Others saw him as a dangerous criminal, someone who had skirted the law for too long. But as the FBI closed in, Marcus's fate seemed sealed. The hacker community, too, was divided. Some hailed Marcus as a hero, while others were skeptical. Was he truly the savior of the cyber world, or had he simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time? As the FBI's investigation reached its climax, Marcus found himself in the midst of a legal nightmare. His arrest seemed inevitable. The evidence was piling up against him, and there was no way to escape the consequences of his actions. The question was no longer whether he would face prison time, it was how long he would serve. The media continued to hound him, and the hacker community remained divided. Some supported him, others turned their backs. Marcus, once a hero, was now a man caught in a web of his own making. But then, in a twist of fate, Marcus was given a second chance. His lawyers fought tirelessly to reduce his sentence, and after months of legal battles, they were successful. The charges against him were reduced, and he was granted a plea deal. It wasn't a perfect outcome, but it was better than the alternative. Marcus had been through hell, but in the end, justice prevailed. He walked out of the courtroom, his future uncertain, but with a sense of relief. He had been given a second chance to rebuild his life, and this time, he would do things differently. The aftermath was both bitter and sweet. Marcus was a free man, but the scars of his past would never truly fade. He had saved countless lives during the WannaCry attack, but his involvement with the Shadow Brokers and his role in releasing malicious software had cost him dearly. The world had learned a valuable lesson. In the world of cybersecurity, the line between hero and criminal is often blurred. Marcus Hutchins was proof of that. Now, with his past behind him, Marcus continues to work in the cybersecurity field. He's become a respected figure in the industry, speaking at conferences and sharing his knowledge with others. He's turned his life around, but he knows that his story will always be a part of him. As for the world of hacking, it continues to evolve. New threats emerge every day, and the battle between good and evil in the digital world rages on. But for Marcus Hutchins, the story of the WannaCry attack and his role in stopping it will always be a part of his legacy. What do you think? Was Marcus Hutchins a hero who paid the price for his actions, or did he get what he deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more gripping stories from the world of hacking and cybercrime. Stay tuned for the next chapter.